Hey, it's Dave from CheapWineFinder.com again with another companion podcast for a wine we just wrote up on the CheapWineFinder.com website. It's kind of a fancy wine. It's not the kind of wine we normally write about, but it's the Hyland Estates Old Vine Pinot Noir 2018 single vineyard from the McMinnville AVA or sub-AVA of the Willamette Valley. It's up in the coastal mountain range. This is one of the oldest vineyards in Willamette Valley, planted in 1971. Hyland Estates, the vineyard came first. Hyland Estates came second to make wine from this vineyard. This is an iconic vineyard in Willamette Valley, made in the classic Willamette Valley style. And I found it for $17.99 on sale in Chicago, Illinois. And it fits into the cheap wine finder aesthetic. And if you want to read about the wine, go to cheapwinefinder.com. I wrote a whole thing on it. It's a really good wine. Even put down where you can find it at this price, because I think it lists for $45. Typical price on the internet is $31, but here you can get it for under $20 all day long. And because it got me thinking a little bit about what exactly is Cheap Wine Finder wine. I know when we first started out, it's different because that was 11 years ago, and it's different than it is today. And because here I am drinking a single vineyard, excellent Willamette Valley Pinot Noir that I got for $18. Last December, had an Aldi's, of all things, champagne for $19.99. That was the most memorable wine I had all year. I mean, I'm still looking forward to next November when the next one comes out. It was a Pinot Noir based champagne, and I thought it was excellent. It was $19.99. Recently put a Chianti Classico that had 5 years of aging on their website just a couple of weeks ago. And I think I got it at Costco for $10 or $12. I mean, you can get Riojas. Half of Bordeaux wines are under $20. You can get Burgundies. There is, I just read a couple of reports about Napa Valley having 2 bumper crops in a row where there's a glut of Cabernet Sauvignon. So in the next couple of, maybe starting out in the fall, maybe not until the next spring, you're going to start seeing fancy Napa Cabernet Sauvignons on sale for prices you haven't seen in a while. There's almost no wine out there that you can't find in the cheap wine finder category. I put that at $20. What a value wine is not one thing. I mean, you can have a $50 wine that is equal to $100 wines, and then makes that a value. You can have a $100 wine that's equal to $1,000 wines, and that makes that a value. So what is a value wine is in the eye of the holder. But we try to go $20 for the most part, just to figure out what's going on. I mean, that's an easier way to wrap your head about it. And there is no wine. If you're drinking under $20, there's no wine that you pretty much can't get. I had a Barolo from Italy that I had, I think, from Trader Joe's that wasn't bad. It wasn't one of the best Barolos I ever had, but it was definitely drinkable and good. I think it was $15 for a Barolo. I mean, you can get, and here this Willamette Valley Pinot Noir was age-worthy. The winemaker said it's good for a decade. The tasting notes said 20 years. Typically with the wines we write about, they're drink it now wines. They're made in the drink it now style, which means that when you buy it, it's ready to go. And it's one thing cool about the Hyland Estates Old Vine Pinot Noir is the acidity hits you really different. Because here the acidity's got to last 20 years. When you're drinking a drink it now wine, the acidity's pretty, is already backed off. So this one will hit your mouth a little bit different than the other ones will. That's kind of a cool thing. So it's different, but inexpensive wines. You're drinking champagnes. You're drinking Bordeaux. You're drinking Burgundies. You're drinking Rhone Valleys. You're drinking, Tuscan wines. You're drinking Barolos, Napas, Sonomas. You're drinking all sorts of Australian, Chile, you name it. You know, there are high-end wines. There are expensive wines, and I'm all for supporting these cool boutique wines that are trying to do something unique. And, you know, everybody has a wine that they tasted somewhere that just blows their mind, and they just got to have it. It doesn't matter what the price is. That's all cool. I'm not saying that you should ignore the higher end, you know, because everybody has their favorites. But the reality is that you don't have to go there. The one thing I was kind of pleased about with the drinking the Hyland Estates Old Vine Pinot Noir 2018 is how well the usual inexpensive, cheap, and I say that affectionately, cheap Pinot Noirs I drink stack up. You know, it's not the same thing. The acidity is different. The flavors are different. They're made, one's a drink it now style, one's an aging style that's going to be different. The other one, this had a lot of depth to it and complexity. And they're not that the other ones don't, but they're not supposed to have the exact same thing. So it was kind of nice to see that inexpensive Pinot Noir holds its own. Not the same thing, but holds its own. And that's kind of the way with everything else. You can, under $20, you know, yeah, maybe there's, while having no compromises in the grape selection and the wine process and everything, will get you a certain type of wine, but these other affordable wines do a damn good job. And I'm going to take a sip of this just to have a sip of this. And I'm not going to go on forever. If you want to read the review, please do. It's on the cheapwinefinder.com website. We have, a couple thousand. We've been doing for 11 years. Actually, we've gotten rid of hundreds of them. You know, you don't really need to be reading about a $10 wine from 10 years ago. It's long gone. If you find it in the store, do not drink it. It's gone bad. So we have tons of reviews, and we're going to have tons more, and that's that. And I'm actually, Cheap Wine has got to the point where I'm drinking single vineyard Willamette Valley wines from one of the finest vineyards in Willamette Valley, and top-notch killer wine bakers on top of it. I'm going to take a sip, and then I'm going to sign off. And that's it. Cheap Wine has probably been better than ever. You can get all kinds of wines, from Champagne to Willamette Valley, Oregon Pinot Noirs, which are personally one of my favorite wines in the whole wide world. And I'm kind of happy. To read about this wine and find out where I bought it, hit the cheapwinefinder.com website. Keep it cheap. And I kind of did. You know, $17.99 for a single vineyard Willamette Valley wine is a bargain. You know, so keep it cheap, and I'll be talking to you later. We got all sorts of things planned. Adios and bye-bye.